Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Just My 2 Cents. I'm super excited to be back with another video. Also, Happy New Year's to everybody. Y'all, I figured like what better way than to like have a brand new video for the new year than for us to talk about some New Year's Eve and New Year's Day traditions, as well as like, let's cook together, right? You know, your girl can cook, let's cook together. Let's cook a traditional New Year's Day meal. And while we are cooking that meal, I also want to talk to you all about like some of the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day traditions that I thought only me and my family did, and I thought we were like super weird. And when I was on TikTok, I figured that other Black families in the US do it. And then when I was in a grocery store, I overheard a conversation with like a white man and a white lady, and I figured out that they do some of these too. So I'm like, look, let's have a conversation today about, you know, these New Year's Eve traditions, New Year's Day traditions, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so for our meal today, we have some black eyed peas, which I believe is supposed to be for good luck, I believe. We have some cornbread muffin mix. Don't judge me, y'all. Like, I'm not cooking everything from scratch today. I'm gonna throw this stuff in a pot and in the oven, and we just gonna be about our business. But we have some cornbread. If you know what the cornbread is for, then definitely let us know down in the comments. But from my understanding, I believe it's for like the change in the coins and gold and stuff like that. That's from what I believe or what I've heard. Also, we have our greens. I cut these up last night and I put them in the freezer so that they could like already be cut up and ready to go into the pot today. But this is, you know, to symbolize wealth and things of that nature. So these are ready to go. And then also we have some pork chop right here. And pork chop is to symbolize, oh my gosh, I'll insert it. I forgot what it's supposed to symbolize, but oh yeah, moving forward. So pork is supposed to like move forward. So they suggest that you don't eat like chicken or fish or stuff like that on New Year's. They suggest if you are going to eat a meat that it's, you know, should be of pork. But yeah, so that's what we will have for that. And then we also have some cake mix. You know, this don't really have anything to do with anything. I just wanted something sweet, to be completely honest. And I said, oh, this look good. I made my Oreo cake. If you watched my last vlog, definitely go check it out. I'll pin it up below. But I used this cake mix right here to make my Oreo cake, and it tastes really good. So I'm like, let me try this out for this particular meal. And instead of having like Oreos on top of it, I'm going to make like a cream cheese frosting with some peanut butter. Well, like a peanut butter cream cheese frosting. I don't know. It should taste good. I know it will taste good. Let's go ahead and start the cook. All right, so this is going to be a cook with me. So I'm gonna be moving around the kitchen. But y'all tell me, what are some of the traditions that you all have in your families when it comes down to New Year's Eve? Like some things that you can and cannot do. Get this out. We're gonna start this back over. This is probably being a blooper at the end because them pots just fell everywhere. All right, so I did not know how shiny my lips were until I cut on the light. But anyway, so we are going to cook our greens first, or start cooking our greens first. The reason you do this because, y'all, where I'm from in my family, in the South, like you supposed to put your greens on like early in the day, but yeah. But these will take the longest to cook. Some people, when you look online, they say like, oh, it only takes like X, Y, Z. No, if you want your greens to be like tender, these things need to sit in the pot and cook for a couple of hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these on first so they can like be tender. so they can be good, so they can be edible, and the things of that nature, so I can make my ancestors proud. Okay, y'all, why I got the wrong album? I'm like, why is this stuff not heating up? And then I look back and I have to add one behind it. But anyway, so I like my greens to be sweet. Some people prefer theirs to be a little bit more, or like with a tang in it, but you know, that's not, you know, to each his own. If that's what you like, that's what you like. So, all right, so I just wanted to show you all like what my greens look like. So of course, you know, they're supposed to be saturated in water. I put some sugar on top of them, and yeah, they are ready to go. So we'll go ahead and put these on and just let them do their thing, and we'll move on to the next task at hand. All right, so next we are going to just go ahead and put our black eyed peas into a pot. Now, because the greens will take a couple hours to cook, I'm just going to just let these kind of sit in the pot. I'm actually going to season these with some seasonings that I typically like on my black eyed peas. Now, you can season your black eyed peas any kind of way that you want to, but I want them to kind of just sit in the pot and marinate. All right, so I think we are in business. So we have our greens. Don't worry, y'all, this is the water sizzling. Our greens beginning to, well, I guess the word is getting hot. The ice is melting in the greens. I decided to do some double eggs too, because I'm like, you know what, might as well, right? And we also have our black eyed peas marinating with the seasoning that I put on it. So we'll come back in a couple hours and we'll finish up. So you probably hear the eggs in the background boiling, and I figured instead of just waiting to just season the meat and then throw it right into the grease, I'm actually going to just go ahead and put the seasoning on now so it can marinate and so it can have like a really good taste to it. You know what I mean? The seasonings that I have Italian seasoning. It's really good. Onion powder, garlic powder. I have some black ground pepper, and I also have some chili powder. Now, this one right here, it's like, why are you putting it on there? Like, this right here, it changes the game, y'all. It changes the game. It changes. If you want to elevate your food, put some chili powder on it, okay? Now, so let's go ahead and talk about some of the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day traditions. So, growing up, I used to think that like my mom and dad were like super weird, because on New Year's Eve, and my sister, she's sitting over there in the background, feel free to chime in. So on New Year's Eve, what we couldn't do, we couldn't wash clothes. We had to make sure the house was clean going into the new year. What else we couldn't do on New Year's Eve? She's eating too, so she might not respond right away. What else we couldn't do? I don't know. Yeah, definitely washing clothes. That was like the biggest thing that we couldn't do, and making sure that the house is clean. Now on New Year's Day, oh yeah, she said make sure that all the trash was taken out by New Year's Eve, like the end of New Year's Eve. Yeah, and then on New Year's Day, it changes the game, okay? Because it elevates to a higher level. You definitely can't wash no clothes, because it's reported if you wash clothes, you trying to take somebody out the family, as in, you know, they're gonna go in the glory. Also, you know, you want to make sure, like I said, that your house is clean, because how you start your new year, if you start with a dirty house, you're gonna have a dirty house the entire year. So, you know, you don't want to, you know, put yourself in that predicament. In addition to that, you can have any females come over, or some people, they allow females to come over, but a male has to come over first. But in our family, if you are a female, you cannot come over. You can come over January 2nd. You cannot come over January 1st. I remember one time we had some family from up north who was moving down here, and they thought my parents were playing. Let me tell you something. They showed up to the house New Year's Day as a family unit, and my dad was like, oh no, you can't come in here. And I just thought that we were like the only people who did stuff like that. And I was doing some research yesterday to kind of figure out some stuff, and they was like, yeah, don't even do dishes on New Year's Day because that can probably aid in like taking somebody out of the family. Which I'm not gonna like sit here and lie to you. I'm not gonna mind it today because y'all see I'm out here cooking. So if I could just like let these things just stay there in the sink and then put them in the dishwasher tomorrow, I'm not gonna mind at all. Okay. And that's pretty much it. And I also saw on there, you're not really supposed to like go outside on New Year's Day because you're letting out the good luck out of your house. You're supposed to crack a window to let the new year in. It's a lot. It's a lot. And if you go on TikTok, you'll see like other people have other traditions and stuff that they do. Staples in your house. Oh, also you're supposed to make sure that you have all your cupboards are filled. So like if you have like a pantry, if you have like cabinets and stuff, then they want to make sure that every cabinet and every pantry has like food, water, and supplies and stuff inside of it, because it's supposed to mean that throughout the entire year, your house will have food and stuff inside of it. So some of those things I've heard before. I know that we acknowledge in our family. Other ones, they were like, oh, I never heard that before. But then, you know, as I mentioned, growing up, I always thought that my family was weird because we did that. And I'm like, Mom, like nobody else is doing that. Why do we have to do that? And it's like, well, that's what the old people say to do. And, you know, we just been doing it for all these years, and going on TikTok and seeing other people my age and younger actually, I'm not gonna say abiding by it, but actually going forth with it has been something that's, you know, kind of reassuring in a sense. And no, I'm not gonna get into all of why we do it and stuff like that on the YouTube, but definitely go check it out on TikTok as to why like African Americans especially do some of those different traditions every year. And you know, for me, I like to make sure that I don't be playing around, okay? You know, we've been seeing how these years been going for the last couple of years. I just want to make sure if I can do something extra to make sure that me and my family good, then hey, I don't want to be that one that done did something to mess it up. Okay. So what are some of the traditions that you and your family do, like for New Year's? Oh, another one I forgot. You have to have all your Christmas decorations taken down before the New Year. Definitely about to waste that, but definitely before the New Year, you have to have like your Christmas tree taken down. Like any type of like Christmas decorations that you consider Christmas decorations, it has to be taken down because it can lead to bad luck. Like I said, I don't make the news, I just report. I'm telling you what they say we supposed to be doing in order to try to have the best year possible. But we gonna claim one in Jesus' name, okay? Regardless if you abide by these traditions or not, you still need to claim it, okay? All right, so let me check on these greens. All right, so now we are getting ready to make the rest of the meal. The collard greens are almost done, so it's almost time to eat. I'm making some cornbread. I showed you all the pack earlier that I'm using to make it, and I think I need an egg. Let me get an egg right quick. Ooh, yes, y'all, look at these greens. Look at them. Looking nice and tender, steaming up just nice. I saw online somebody said 45 minutes. I'm telling you right now, if it's 45 minutes, it's gonna have a crunch to it. You want them to be on the stove for at least 2 to 3 hours so they can be nice and tender. And they do have like a nice good broth now. Because I didn't put any like meat or anything inside of it, it's not gonna be as thick, but have a nice good broth in it. We got some vegetables in there with them. Full of some sugar because it's like my so sweet. But look at this. Look at my cornbread. Oh, looks good. And now look at my cake, y'all. Oh my gosh, look. All right, so now we are going to make the icing for the cake. So fun fact, I do not like store-bought icing, so I make my own from scratch. Now look, the cornbread is done. Now look at my pork chop and the way we got the black eyed peas going. Got our greens. Getting down to the final stretch. Got our cornbread back there just for resting. We have our cake. Yeah, I don't have my cake. It kind of failed because I kept pressing it. We got our cake in here. I'm gonna take it out actually right now and ice it. And I think by the time the other pieces of meat get done, we will be ready for our New Year's dinner.